He was handsome, polite, and smart. The kind of man every woman felt safe around. But behind Ted Bundy's calm smile hid something inhuman. In the mid-1970s, young women across Washington, Utah, and Colorado began vanishing without a trace. Witnesses described a man named Ted, often seen with a cast on his arm, asking for help loading his sailboat. The kindness was a trap. Once they leaned in to help, he would strike, brutally abducting and murdering them. Bundy's crimes weren't random, they were calculated. He studied police tactics, changed his looks, and even defended himself in court with eerie confidence. During his 1977 escape, he charmed his way out of jail twice, driving across states and continuing to kill. In the end, Bundy confessed to at least 30 murders, though experts believe the true number was far higher. On the morning of his execution in 1989, crowds cheered outside the prison. Yet the haunting question remains: how could someone so ordinary, so likable, be pure evil? Ted Bundy wasn't just a killer, he was a mask that smiled right at the world before striking. When police stepped into Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment in 1991, they found photographs, skulls, and human remains scattered everywhere. But what they saw in his refrigerator would scar them forever. For over a decade, Dahmer hunted young men in bars and clubs, luring them home with promises of drinks or photographs. Once inside, they never made it out alive. Dahmer's crimes went beyond murder. He performed gruesome acts that blurred the line between obsession and madness. He wasn't driven by rage or revenge, but by a terrifying loneliness, a desire to possess people completely, even in death. What makes Dahmer's story even darker is how close authorities came to catching him. On several occasions, his victims escaped or neighbors reported strange smells, but police ignored it. One escaped victim was even returned to Dahmer by officers, believing it was a lover's quarrel. When he was finally caught, Dahmer confessed everything with a chilling calmness. His words revealed a man trapped inside his own twisted mind, fully aware of his evil yet unable to stop. Jeffrey Dahmer was not just a serial killer. He was a walking paradox of horror and humanity's darkest loneliness. By day, he was the friendly neighbor who organized parties and dressed as Pogo the Clown to entertain children. By night, he became something out of a nightmare. Between 1972 and 1978, John Wayne Gacy murdered at least 33 teenage boys and young men. He lured them with promises of work, alcohol, or simply a place to hang out. Once inside his home, his victims vanished. For years, families searched for answers until the truth was discovered beneath his very own house. Police uncovered a mass grave hidden under the crawl space, stacked with decomposing bodies. Gacy admitted to his crimes with chilling indifference, often referring to his victims as just kids who got in too deep. What made it worse was his double life: a respected businessman, a community volunteer, and a monster beneath the mask. Even in prison, Gacy painted cheerful clown portraits that sold for thousands. When asked if he felt guilt, he simply said, "I'm not the monster everyone says I am." But the evidence, the bones beneath his floor, told another story. John Wayne Gacy wasn't just the killer next door. He was proof that evil doesn't always wear a dark face. Sometimes it paints a smile. He didn't wait for the dark. He brought the dark with him. From 1984 to 1985, Los Angeles and San Francisco lived in fear of a shadow they called the Night Stalker. Richard Ramirez broke into homes at random, targeting men, women, even children. He killed without pattern, stabbing, shooting, strangling, and left behind satanic symbols, turning his crimes into a ritual of terror. People started sleeping with their lights on, locking every window, praying not to be next. His face became the city's waking nightmare. But Ramirez didn't hide. He thrived on the chaos. In court, he flashed a pentagram on his palm and shouted, "Hail Satan!" as cameras rolled. What made him terrifying wasn't just his brutality. It was his unpredictability. He killed anyone, anywhere, anytime. No motive, no mercy. When he was finally caught by a mob of citizens, the city felt a collective sigh of relief. Yet even behind bars, Ramirez remained proud of what he did, calling himself beyond good and evil. He became a symbol of pure, chaotic darkness, the kind that doesn't need reason to destroy, only the night to hide in.